So in this class I am going to explain you the role of a parser. So you know that we have total 6 pages in the pages of a compilation process. One is the lexical analyzer and the second one is the syntax analyzer or the parser. So here we are talking about the second page, that is parser. So the first page is lexical analyzer. It takes input as a source program and it will be generate the tokens as a output. And the second page is parser or syntax analyzer. Parser or syntax analyzer. It takes input as the output of the lexical analyzer, that is tokens, and it will be generated parse tree or derivation tree. So in this process, we have different types of parsers. So the first one is top-down parser. And the second one is bottom-up parser. There are two types of parsers. One is top-down parser and second one is bottom-up parser. Again, this top-down parser is divided into two types. One is top-down parser with backtracking. And the second one is top-down parser without backtracking. Top-down parser without backtracking. So in this top-down parser with backtracking, we have to follow the brute force method. Whereas in top-down parser without backtracking, we have different methods are there. One is recursive descent parser. Or we can call it as RDP, one type. And another type is predictive parser. And one is LL1 parser. And coming to the bottom of parser, this one we can call it as a shift reduce parser. Or simply SR parser. Bottom of parser we can also call it as shift reduce parser or SR parser. So again, this is divided into two types. One is operator precedence. And the second one is LR parsers. Again, these LR parsers are divided into three. One is SLR, second one is CLR, and third one is LR. So these are the types of parsers. So initially the parser is divided into two types. One is top-down parser and second one is bottom-up parser. Again, this top-down parser is divided into two types. One is top-down parser with backtracking and second one is top-down parser without backtracking. In with backtracking, we have to follow the approach is brute force method. Whereas in top-down parser without backtracking techniques are one is recursive descent parser, that is RDP, and predictive parser and LL1. Almost both are same, LL1. And coming to the bottom-up parser, or sometimes we can call it a shift reduce parser. So again it is divided into two. One is operator precedence and another one is LR parser. Again this LR parser is divided into three tables. One is SLR parsing table, second one is CLR parsing table, and the third one is LR. Now first we will see the top-down parser with backtracking. So before going to this, so first of all, what is the definition of top-down parser and what is the definition of bottom-up parser? First we will see. So parser. So first of all, the parser means it's nothing but a tree. What is meant by parser? We have some grammar, and we have to derive some input stream. So we have to derive this input stream by using this grammar. We have two types are there. One is top-down parser and another one is bottom-up parser. So the first one is top-down parser. So here the top-down parser means here the name itself, it's a top-down approach. In a parser, the top indicates that nothing but the root. Top means nothing but the root element, and down means nothing but the leaf nodes. So here we have to construct a tree. We have to construct a parse tree. Starts with from root node and moves towards to the leaf nodes. That parsers we can call it as a top-down parser. So here the root means nothing but the starting symbol of the grammar. Suppose for example take G equal to VTPS. Say for example S is starting symbol of the grammar. Then so here the root node means nothing but the starting symbol of the grammar. So starts with S and moves towards to the leaf nodes. Leaf nodes means nothing but the input string. So here the examples are the types. One is the recursive descent parser and predictive parser and LL-1 parsers. And the second type is bottom-up parser. So here the name indicates that the first one is the bottom. So bottom means here the nothing but leaf nodes. And up means nothing but root. So bottom-up approach. So here leaves means nothing but the input stream and moves towards to the root node. So here the root node means nothing but the starting symbol of the grammar. So in this way we have to construct the bottom-up parser. Whereas the top-down parser means starts with root to leaf nodes, whereas the bottom-up means leaves to root. So here the bottom-up parser examples are, see the bottom-up parser are shift reduce parser, operator precedence and LR parsers. Again the LR parsers means total three types. One is SLR. SLR means simple LR. C means canonical LR. C means canonical LR. LA means look ahead LR. Look ahead LR. So what is meant by LR? So here L means scan the input from left to right. Scanning the input from left to right. So here R means reverse of rightmost derivation. Reverse of rightmost derivation. RMD. Reverse of rightmost derivation. So LR stands for the first L indicates that scanning the input from left to right, and R means it is related to the rightmost derivation, because in a context-free grammar we have two types of derivations. One is the leftmost derivation and second one is the rightmost derivation. In bottom-up parser we are using the rightmost derivation. So here R indicates that the reverse of rightmost derivation. So coming to this one, SLR means simple LR. CLR canonical LR. Canonical LR. And LALR look ahead LR. Suppose In top-down parser means we are following LL of one parser. So here the first L indicates that same, scan the input from left to right. Here the second L indicates that LMD. The second L indicates that leftmost derivation. So in a top-down parser means here in this case we are using leftmost derivation. Whereas in bottom-up parser means we are using the rightmost derivation. And the next one is, the first type is top-down parser. Yes, I have already mentioned that there are two types of top-down parser. One is top-down parser with backtracking, and the second one is a top-down parser without backtracking. So in with backtracking, we have to follow the brute force method. Brute force method. Whereas in without backtracking, we have, these are the approaches. One is recursive descent parser, RDP, second one is predictive parser, and third one is LL1. Almost both are same. Almost the approach is same procedure. Only the difference one, the last point. Now, the first one is top-down parser with backtracking. Now we are discussing about, in this class we are discussing about the top-down parser with backtracking. So top-down parser with backtracking. So first of all, what is meant by backtracking? So first of all, what is meant by parser? So parser means nothing but tree, construct a tree. So tree means we have some nodes. So here the input is a grammar. So grammar means G equal to VDPS. The grammar contains these four tuples: variables, terminals, set of productions, and starting symbol. So parser means tree. The tree contains nodes. What type of nodes? Variables and terminals. Variables and terminals. Suppose it is a top-down parser. Top-down parser means we have to construct a tree, starts with top to bottom. Starts with top. Top approach is top to bottom. So starts with top means nothing but root node and moves towards to the down. Down means nothing but leaves nodes. So in this way we have to construct a parse tree. But what about backtracking? What is meant by backtracking? See, if you take this example, so here construct a parse tree for the following grammar. So in this case, derive a input string is CAD. What is W? W means some input string. The input string is CAD, and this is the grammar. So this is the given grammar, and we have to derive a string is CAD. So construct a tree, top-down parser. So top-down parser means starts with root. Root means nothing but starting symbol of the grammar. So here the given grammar contains, suppose here G equal to VTPS. What is V? V means set of variables or non-terminals. So in the given grammar we have two non-terminal symbols. One is S and second one is A. And the second tuple is T. T means terminal symbols. So what are the terminal symbols? C, D, A, B. So total 4. A, B, C, D. And P means these are the productions, and starting symbol of the grammar is yes, yes. Now we want to derive a string is CAD. Now start the tree. So it starts with starting symbol of the grammar. Suppose yes, starts with starting symbol of the grammar, yes. What is the first option? So here S is a non-terminal and we have only one production. We have only one production. The production is CAD. As I have already mentioned in the previous class, each symbol represents one node, whether it is a terminal or non-terminal, whatever it is, each symbol represents one node. So here we have total 3 symbols, C, A, D. So we have 3 nodes. So starts with S. The next step is the S is replaced with C, A, D. This is the second step. And what is the third step? So yes, C, A, D. Now, what is C? C is a terminal. So simply leave it, because we have to replace with only non-terminals. Now A, what is A? A is a non-terminal. And here A has 2 productions. One is AB and second one is A. So first I have choose AB. I will take AB. So A is replaced with AB. AB means 2 symbols. So 2 nodes. And the next symbol is D. What is D? D is a terminal symbol. So the tree is completed because each leaf node is a terminal symbol. Each leaf node is a terminal symbol. Suppose any leaf node contains a non-terminal symbol, means again that symbol is replaced with some other productions. But whereas in this case, each symbol represents, each leaf symbol having a terminal symbol. So what is the result here? The first terminal symbol is C, next A, B, D. So I have derived CABD, but actually in the given grammar we have to derive CAD, but in this case I have derived CABD. This is wrong. It is a wrong string. So what happened? So next one again, because here A has 2 options. One is AB, another one is A. So first I have selected AB. A is selected with AB, finally derived some string, but our objective is to derive CAD. But in this case we derive CABD. So this is the wrong one. So next one. So obviously next one, in the second step again, go back, and again A is replaced with the second option. What is the second option? A. Now this time A is replaced with small a. Now each leaf node having a terminal symbol. So the tree is completed. In this case, we have derived CAD. Our objective is derived CAD. Here also derived CAD. So this is the correct one. This is the wrong one. So here the backtracking means nothing but this one. Suppose any particular non-terminal symbol having more than one production, at that time sometimes we may choose this option or sometimes we may choose this option. Out of these two, only one option is the correct one, remaining option is wrong one. So here in this case, the first A is replaced with AB. So obviously derived the wrong one. Obviously again go back, and second time A is replaced with another option, that is A. So CAD. Finally derived our given string CAD. So this process we can call it as a backtracking. And the drawbacks of the backtracking. Backtracking. So we have mainly 4 drawbacks. So the first one is left recursion. So I have already discussed about the left recursion in the previous class. So the first drawback is left recursion. What is meant by left recursion? The production is of the form A to A alpha. Suppose, so this is the procedure. I want to derive some string. How to derive a string? Starts with starting symbol of the grammar. Next step. Now this is a non-terminal. It is replaced with some production. And the next step, again it is a non-terminal. It is replaced with some production. Like that, the process is going on. Suppose if the production is like this, A to A alpha. See, A is a root node. Now A defines A alpha. So two symbols. One is A and another one is alpha. Again, the next step. What is A? Again, A is a non-terminal. What is the production? So A has only one option. Suppose again A alpha. Again A. What is A? A alpha. It is a infinity process. So the tree never ends with string of terminals. So it is a one of the main drawback. Okay. Suppose if the production is in left recursion, it is not possible to construct a tree because it goes to infinity loop. And the second one is same way. The second one is left factoring. What is meant by left factoring? The production is of the form A2 alpha beta 1 or alpha beta 2. Suppose starts with A. Starts with A. Okay. Now A has two options. One is alpha beta 1, second one is alpha beta 2. So now A is replaced with which production? First production or second production? Sometimes the first production is correct. Sometimes the second production is correct. So it is an ambiguity. So it takes so much of time. So this type of productions also we have to eliminate it. Okay. So this is the second drawback. And the third one is backtracking. And the fourth one is difficulty to locate error point. So these two are interlinked. Suppose, so it is a process. Suppose this is the first one, second step, third step, like that. Suppose we have 6, 7 steps. Suppose we have derived some input string, already 7 lines are completed. Out of these 7 lines, finally 8th line is we are not deriving a particular string. Then what happens again? Go back and check it. So this is a backtracking. So in this backtracking process, it is a difficulty one because here some non-terminal is there. Here also some non-terminal is there. Some non-terminal is there. So we have 7 lines. Out of 7 lines, each and every line some non-terminal is there. So we don't know where to move. 7th line, 6th line, 5th line, 4th line, 3rd line, 2nd line. We don't know exactly. And at the same time, it is difficult to locate the error point. The error may occur 5th line. Or the error may occur 3rd line. We don't know the exact point. So the backtracking and difficulty to locate error point. These two are drawbacks with backtracking. So the main drawbacks are these 4. One is the left recursion, and the second one is left factoring. Third one is backtracking and difficulty to locate error point. And the next one is top-down parser without backtracking. So actually in the top-down parser without backtracking, we have different types are there. One is recursive descent parser and second one is predictive parser and LLOC1. So before going to the recursive descent parser, so first of all, see, these are the main drawbacks in top-down parser with backtracking. Now, with backtracking, without backtracking, first we have to main concentrating on these 2 points. Because these two are very, very important, left recursion and left factoring. So without backtracking, first we are mainly concentrating on the left recursion and left factoring. So first of all, what is meant by left recursion? It is already completed. In the previous class, already discussed about the left recursion. So the left recursion means it is of the form A2 A alpha or beta. Then the solution is A2 beta A dash to alpha A dash or epsilon. This is the solution. So this is the example. So E2 E plus TRT, T2 T star FF, F2 E ID. So first, what is meant by left recursion? Left recursion means it is of the form A2 A alpha or beta. The solution is A2 beta A dash and A dash to alpha A dash or epsilon. This is the solution. So in the previous class, I have already discussed about the same example, same problem. So after completion of the left recursion, the resultant grammar is like this: E2 TE dash E dash 2 plus TE dash or epsilon T2 FT dash T dash 2 star FT dash or epsilon F2E ID. F2E ID. This is the final answer. And this is the second example. This is the second example. S2A, arrow symbol, open parenthesis T, T2, T comma S slash S. So here the given grammar contains two non-terminal symbols. One is S and another one is T. S and T remaining all are terminal symbols. So what are the terminal symbols? A is a terminal symbol. Arrow is a terminal symbol. Open parenthesis and closed parenthesis is a terminal symbol. And also comma is also a terminal symbol. So first compared with left recursion, whether the given grammar is in left recursion or not. So what is meant by left recursion? A2 A alpha or beta. Next one, the solution is A2 beta A dash and then A dash to alpha A dash or epsilon. So the left recursion main point is the left hand side, the right hand side, the first symbol should be same as the left hand side of the symbol. Now, eliminate left recursion, this grammar. The result one is, so here the first production, it is not in left recursion form because the right hand side is symbol is yes, whereas the right hand side we have three options, three productions. The first one starts with A, it is a terminal, it is a terminal. So these three productions does not start with yes. So it is not in left recursion form. What about the second one? Second one is T2 P comma S slash S. Now compared with A2 A alpha or beta. Because here starts with T, same symbol. So here A equal to T. And what is alpha? Alpha means remaining part, comma S, and beta equal to S. Now the solution is this one, A2. What is A? T. T2, beta A dash. What is beta? Yes. A dash means T dash. And then T dash 2. Alpha A dash. What is alpha? Comma S. T dash or epsilon. Comma epsilon. Now, the final result is, the final grammar is, the first production is same. So, S2, A, arrow, T. The first production is same. And the next one is, this production is replaced with these two productions. So, T2, ST dash, and then T dash 2, comma, ST dash, slash, epsilon. So, this is the final result. This is the final result. And one more example. This is very, very important example. So, elimination of the, so left recursion for the following grammar. Eliminate the left recursion for the following grammar. So here, this is the grammar. So in this grammar, we have total how many non-terminal symbols? total 3 non-terminal symbols because the production left hand side symbols are the non-terminal symbols. So one is B expression, second one is B term, and third one is B factor. And total how many terminal symbols? So remaining, except these three, remaining all are terminal symbols like B expression, R, B term, next to B term, and B factor, not, B factor, open parenthesis, closed parenthesis, true, false. So R and not, open parenthesis, closed parenthesis, true, false, all are terminal symbols. Now, first, this grammar is converted into simple form. How to convert it into simple form? So, first, here, take the B expression, the variable B expression, this one. It is replaced with some symbol E. Next one, B term. It is replaced with some symbol T. Next one, B factor. It is replaced with some symbol F. So B expression is replaced with E, B term is replaced with T, and B factor it is replaced with F. Now rewrite the grammar as like this. So B expression means E. So E to B expression. E, R is a terminal. So no need to change the terminal symbols. We have modified only non-terminal symbols. B term means T. Slash B term means T. Next one B term. So T to B term. T and is a terminal symbol. B factor. So F. Again F. B factor F. 2. Not is a terminal. So not. B factor F. Open parenthesis. B expression E. True terminal. False terminal. So in this way, first the given grammar is converted into simple form. After that, take each and every production and compare it with left recursion form, whether it is in the left recursion form or not. Suppose if it is a left recursion form, then we have to eliminate it. Otherwise, you can write the same production as it is. Okay.